particularly significant day in the world of football if you are an English football fan, because it is 60 years since Match of the Day was first broadcast, Charlie and Luxby, and we were trying to remember the first time that we watched it, and I asked Charlie, and that was a slightly insulting question, because you were bringing up Jimmy Hill and...
Well, Jimmy Hill did present it.
He did present it.
I'm trying to think what era that would have been.
He presented it for a long time, after it was originally presented by Kenneth Wolstenholme. We'll see a little bit later on in breakfast those first shots of Kenneth Wolstenholme with a camera which is obviously quite far up in the stand. He's looking up and he's going, "Welcome to Match of the Day," for the very first time. And actually, on that day, there was what he described afterwards as the game of the century between Arsenal and Liverpool. But then, from then on, for 60 years, it has been that staple of football fans' Saturday night, to the point that still, even now, people ignore and avoid the results if they've not been at a game to be able to watch it fresh on Match of the Day. It's an extraordinary tradition.
And that iconic theme tune as well. You can't hear Match of the Day without hearing the tune.
That's right. And if you are, for example, a football fan who gets married and walks down the aisle to Match of the Day, points for suitability, not necessarily for creativity, but I've certainly been to one wedding where a football fan has walked down the aisle to the Match of the Day.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. I won't name them.
That's dedicated.
So it is a very special day. Match of the Day celebrating its 60th anniversary today, and for more than half of that time, it featured the voice of Barry Davies. He sat down with John Watson to reflect on some of his most famous commentaries, and indeed how the game has changed over those 6 decades.
As Match of the Day turns 60, Barry, you were almost there from the start. 1969 you joined the show.
That's right, 5 years late.
The commentator on our opening match of the season is Barry Davies.
And Crystal Palace, I think, was the first game you commentated on the programme.
It wasn't meant to be. I started that day in Leeds. I was supposed to do Leeds and Spurs. Kenneth Wolstenholme, for some reason, wasn't available. David Coleman woke up with no voice. So they sent a car for me.
Crystal Palace take the field at Selhurst Park for their first ever match in the First Division.
I had no notes with me on anything about them. So I got there about 2 o'clock and we were on air, as it were, at 3 o'clock.
And for the next 35 years, you became very closely associated with the programme, with Match of the Day.
Yes. It provided fun, it provided me with a living. I'm bragging if I say, but when I went to the Palace on one occasion, the comment was, "You've been doing this job for quite a long time." And I said, "Yes, I've been paid for a hobby."
And you became one of the most recognised voices on TV.
People tell me that, yes. Yes. It's quite a compliment, actually. I hope. Maybe not. It could be, "Oh, not him again."
And one of your famous moments, recognised moments of commentary came on Match of the Day back in 1974 when it was Derby County against Manchester City. That famous line.
Interesting. Very interesting. Oh!
He had just hit an absolute bullet. You could see the moment he got the ball, and I said, "Interesting." And then he hit this rocket, and I said, "Very interesting." And he was like a little boy who'd just done something very special.
Look at his face! Just look at his face! Is Gascoigne going to have a crack? He is, you know. Oh, I say! Brilliant!
Jazza at Wembley against Arsenal, when I had to remember I was still doing the job. As a kid, a supporter of Spurs, nobody knew who I supported while I was on.
You've seen it all, really, in your time. Colour television coming in, slow motion replays. Now, of course, we've got VAR. But you saw a lot of changes happen in football.
Yes, when the replays came in, John Watson and I had to just repeat or identify the goal that we'd just seen. And then they matched that up for the programme in the evening. I think we did a pretty good job. We used to compare notes on that sometimes.
Well, a lot was made, wasn't it, with this rivalry between you and John Watson. It felt like more was made of that from people watching than it probably was between the two of you?
Motty and I got on pretty well. I think he was a bit lucky. I think he could have given me a little bit more room, but he didn't. But I enjoyed what I did.
And are there any other moments that stand out for you in your association and your time with the programme?
I mean, there are certain goals that have been scored.
Ryan, Fashanu. Oh, what a goal! Oh, that's a magnificent goal!
Justin Fashanu for Norwich, a guy who had a rather troubled life, and he just swiveled round.
And curling high up, just away from Ray Clements' hand.
Ray Clements tried, but even if he hadn't cut his nails for several weeks, he wouldn't have saved that.
Do you still think Match of the Day will be around in another 60 years?
If the game is around, Match of the Day will be around. I sincerely hope.
Yeah, combination of music and that voice brings back memories for so many people. Barry Davies, synonymous with Match of the Day, a 60th anniversary documentary. Match of the Day at 60 will be available on BBC iPlayer later today. You can watch it on BBC One on Bank Holiday Monday at 10:30. And I think it's fair to say that if there was a rivalry between John Motson and Barry Davies, which there was, as Barry hinted at, I'm Team Davies. So there you go, nailing my colours to the mast. He is one of the people in the industry whom I revere the very most. An extraordinary man with a great talent.
There you go.
Good nostalgia.
Made your choice.
Good nostalgia. Like it. Hugh, thank you very much.
Thanks, Hugh.
Let's see, time now 6:47. Let's have a chat with Carol. How's the weather looking, Carol?
Morning, Carol.
Good morning, both. Good morning to you too. It's looking wet and windy at the moment, Charlie.